They make it so difficult to build that people don't build. And I knew this is what was coming, but other people didn't really know it because they've not dealt with the city plan check, regulations, plan approval, engineering. Like, this is stuff I'd been doing my whole life. So I knew early on that this wasn't going to happen.
Podcaster and native Californian and terrific actor Adam Carolla railing against the red tape, keeping LA wildfire survivors from rebuilding their homes. Let's bring in Town Hall media host Chloe Trapanado, who's awesome, and also awesome, Washington Examiner commentary writer Tina Lodesher. Tiana, let me begin with you. I think Adam really nails it here. You can't continue to move the goalposts when people are trying to get their lives back.
Correct. A lot of these Californians are stuck literally living in ADUs because the city and the county won't let them rebuild their homes. So about 600 homes burned down in Malibu. 12 permits have been issued in Malibu.
Wow.
In LA County, you have about, in the Pacific Palisades, you have about 200 homes under reconstruction. 7,000 burned down. And so there just is no political will to fix any of these places. So like when Gavin Newsom's talking about, we're going to have an affordable housing complex. We're going to have a skyscraper for affordable housing in Santa Monica, in the Pacific Palisades.
Yeah.
You can't build the homes that were already there, let alone a new development. With what money? If you guys can't even let the homeowners actually build on their own land.
This is why I love that you're fired up, because I lived in California. You're from California. Chloe, I got to say, I mean, if you're there on the ground, you have got to be pulling your hair out saying, when can we get our lives back, or at least get started on the road to recovery?
Right. I'm not from California, so I do not know the effects of all of this. But him coming out and trying to blame it on climate change, I think, is just ridiculous. I also cannot believe that only 4% of the homes as of November have been rebuilt since the Palisades fire took place. People like Rachel Schwartz, who's a 94-year-old victim of the Holocaust, she can't get her home of 25 years rebuilt. It's just devastating. And I think that this is going to be a final nail in the coffin in Newsom's dead on arrival presidential run.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I know that he likes to have, with the jazz hands and whatnot, he thinks he's really out there doing something now. But let me tell you, the record is long and clear. People will obviously have a very close look at that. Meantime, I want to run this. This is Ro Khanna calling out Chuck Schumer. It looks like they're ready to shove old Chuck off to out to pasture. Listen to this. Get your reaction on the other side.
He just is out of touch with the base. We did not get the extension of the tax credits on the Affordable Care Act. He supported the war in Iraq, and he's out of touch on some of the issues of foreign policy. So it's time for a new dynamic leadership. Also, when your football team loses, you have a new coach.
Good point there, Tiana. It looks like they're ready for Chuck to hit the bricks.
I mean, it's hard to fight with that when you think about the fact that Chuck Schumer's by the polling, the least popular Senate Democratic leader in the history of polling, right?
Yeah.
He's underwater 21 points. That's 3 times as much the margin as Donald Trump, who's underwater by 7 points. Pales in comparison, because the Democratic plan was hold, all these 40 million SNAP recipients, 2 million to 3 million federal workers who weren't getting paid, and the rest of the country hostage in order for these enhanced emergency era ACA tax credits that Joe Biden signed to expire during the pandemic.
Exactly right. Listen, Chloe, I think I've been watching politics a long time. Sometimes you just know the writing's on the wall, but the real question is, where do they go? Are we talking about this becomes an AOC party?
Yes, we are. I mean, of course, these progressive Democrats are trying to Chuck, because that is the direction that the Democratic Party is moving towards socialism, and AOC is going to spearhead that movement. Did you know she has 13 million followers amassed across her social media platforms, and she's the #1 politician followed on Blue Sky. The Democratic Party, they are voting with their likes and their follows on Twitter and Blue Sky and all of those different things. AOC is going to spearhead this democratic socialist movement. And I think broad-scale socialism is coming faster than we think.
Meantime, 20 seconds each. Looks like that lawsuit against the BBC may be moving forward. They've apologized, but President Trump seems bent on making them pay for what they did by editing his speech on January 6th. First to you, Chloe. Good move, or should he just sort of let this go?
I don't think any money in the world can make up for what they did to President Trump. They have defamed him more than God only knows. So I think that it's right that he's trying to get some justice here.
Tiana.
I think President Trump may be liberating our friends across the pond who, under current British law, are forced to pay like $230 per year in U.S. dollar
Wow.
because they have to pay for the BBC, this failing news enterprise that, look, the UK currently wants to put people in prison for tweets, for misgendering on Twitter, which they currently do.
Yep.
Right now, people in prison for that. Then why shouldn't Donald Trump use their own defamation and insane speech laws against them?
I know.
In his case, he's actually been wrong.
Yeah, and I know the timing may be too short for him to get it done over there, but if I were him, I would obviously sue too, because the truth is, they're not the only ones who've done this, by the way. Australian Broadcasting has done it as well. Tiana and Chloe, thank you both. Appreciate your time tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.